I don't wanna go there. We should never go there. Damn. Why you wanna go there? I guess I gotta go there.
Good evening, podcasters. This is your boy Marcus Norman coming to you live. Sorry I've been absent. The first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to apologize to each and every one of my listeners. I have not posted an episode until now and recently, and I wanted to apologize first and foremost on my podcast, because this podcast is for you, my listeners, and I wanted to show my appreciation for all my listeners and thank you all for tuning in to me every week. And wanted to say I've just been so busy and so swamped. Life, happens to us all, and so we find ourselves having to, divert our time and interest and change schedules all the time. And life is a ever evolving, ever changing, ever adapting, animal, and we just have to roll with the punches. But here I am today talking to you. I finally figured out my next episode and sat down and locked myself away to be able to do this next episode with you guys. And this episode is primarily something that is important for all men should be aware of, but also our young men who are growing up and coming into themselves and growing up in the world and leaving the nest, so to speak. As you grow up, I want to stress the importance, as you've witnessed in today's title. Today's title is going to be on something that's very important called renter's insurance. It's something very important to have. It's something that is well needed. And before I dive into kind of the nitpickiness of renter's insurance, I wanted to, give a piece of myself. One of the many things I told you in previous episodes, I wear many different hats, and one of those hats is I'm into real estate. I'm a real estate investor, and I run a property management business. And so because of that business, I deal with tenants and all the time. I collect rents, I go to court, I've done it all. So in my experiences, oftentimes in dealing with tenants, is they often don't purchase adequate renter's insurance. And this is a very traumatic mistake to them, because in the event of a catastrophic incident to the home, their household goods would not be replaced and would not be repaired or recovered. And so renter's insurance is fairly, very, very inexpensive. It's very cheap and oftentimes quite affordable. I am licensed to sell renter's insurance and homeowner's insurance, and oftentimes I've sold policies for as little as $9 a month. So for $9 a month, it grants you the peace of mind knowing that in the event something happens to your apartment, your place, your home, it will protect the assets. Now, let me give some background. Renter's insurance is there for the protection of exactly that. The situation is you are a tenant and you live in an apartment or studio or condo, and typically in those situations, you do not own the structure. You do not own the building. So the burden or responsibility of the building falls onto the landlord. It is the landlord's responsibility to replace those hard, firm fixtures and the structure and integrity of that building. It is his responsibility to fix that and take care of that and maintain that, which is often why most landlords carry a lot of the weight of maintaining the overall household structure. But what is not the responsibility of the landlord is the things you bring into the house or the apartment or the condo or the studio. They are not responsible and oftentimes do not take liability or that risk of replacing your goods and your belongings and your food in the event of a catastrophic loss. So let me give you a scenario. you're renting your apartment. You're just moved in. You and your family, you guys are very happy and excited about this new place, this new adventure. And, within several weeks or months, even a year, time passes and you all are now fully furnished and filled all the spaces and hung your pictures and photos on the wall and put up blinds and all these nice things, all spent on your dime. None of these things were purchased by the landlord. And now calamity happens, and now a fire breaks loose for whatever reason. And the entire apartment, studio, or condo is burnt to the ground, and all your things and all your belongings and all your worldly goods are all burnt to a cinder. The landlord is going to go to his homeowner's insurance or condo insurance policy to replace the structure. So the buildings, the walls, the fixtures, those hard fixtures, the electricity, the wires, the cables, the plumbing, the toilet, those things he is going to fix on his own with his homeowners or condo policy. And those things are going to be covered and protected through his homeowner's insurance. Your belongings, your goods, your socks, your sneakers, your shoes, your bed, your fur coat, your diamond pearls, your fine art on the wall, those things are not hard fixtures and rely on the structural integrity of the building. So those things are not protected under the landlord's policy. Oftentimes, most apartment complexes require you to get some form of renter's insurance to protect your worldly goods in case of that exact same catastrophe that I just described to you. So you need to very, very much, I can't stress this enough, you need to look into the importance and making sure you have enough coverage. First off, you need to have the coverage in the first place, but also the second part is you need to look into making sure you have enough coverage to cover your worldly goods in the event of catastrophe. So those are two things. First, you need to get the coverage in the first place. Again, you can get it as little as $9 a month. I've sold policies very, very cheap for renter's insurance. But also the second thing is you need to make sure you have enough coverage on all the things that you have purchased. So if you walked around your apartment and walked around your home and took a look at everything, if you had to place an individual price tag on each and everything, what would that sum total of everything cost? So that's that second piece that I'm talking about. You need to make sure that in the event of catastrophe that you are afforded enough coverage to replace everything in your house, right? And replace all your goods, all your furniture, all your clothes, all your silverware, all your dishes, all your fine china set, your towels, your pillows, your blankets, your sheets, your furniture, all those things. You need to make sure you need to give those things a dollar value and make sure you have enough coverage in your renter's insurance policy to protect those items, because they are unfortunately not protected under the homeowner or condo policy that your landlord is more than likely set in place to protect his asset, which is his home. When I rent to my tenants, I oftentimes encourage them. I even make recommendations to various insurance companies, if not myself, to go out and seek renter's insurance, because, and I explain to them, in the event of catastrophe, I will not cover your belongings. I will not replace your goods. I will not cover the expense. And that is in the contract that we all sign. So be mindful and protect yourself by making sure you get adequate coverage, because those things are not your landlord's responsibility. In later episodes, I'll probably do a segment on homeowners insurance and explain that in great detail. But right now, our topic today is renter's insurance and why you should have some as a up and coming individual or future, grown adult, if you're renting an apartment and you don't have renter's insurance, please get some. It is very, very important that you acquire some and make sure, again, that you have adequate coverage. Time and time again, I see people that kind of get the bare bones minimum renter's insurance policy and can't quite cover all their household expenses. And that can be a problem later on. That can be very, very detrimental to them in the future in the event that they have an actual catastrophe. So get covered. Make sure you're protecting yourself, protecting your homes, and protecting your families. This is Marcus Norman on the Gentleman Style Podcast. Again, I appreciate my listeners. I appreciate you guys being patient with me and checking into this episode. And I promise I will do better to stay on track and keep these episodes coming to you every single week. Wednesday at noon every single week. And next week's episode, I'm going to leave that for a surprise to you. But because I'm going to make sure, but I'm definitely going to be on top of my game the following week to produce steady, consistent content to you and content that I feel that you guys need to know about. It's kind of on my radar and things to do. So, as usual, this is Marcus Norman from Gentleman Style Podcast. This is me talking to you, the young men out there, to take care of your homes, take care of your families, and take care of business.
I don't wanna go there. We should never go there. Why you wanna go there? I guess I gotta go there.